Hey, it's old servant Bob here, always on the serve. Angel's Temple has a saying, find a need and fill it, here to serve. And as I was responding to things in my group, there's lots of things to focus on. We can put all of our attention on anything, really. We can put all of our attention on almost anything. The sunshine, the ants, the grass, the dirt, space. But having a mind of loving service, that's a good title for a book. Haley, remind me to write a book about that. One of my wonderful encouragers, Haley, she's always encouraged me to write a book. But serving other people, that really is that's the bomb, is to serve other people. So, as we go through this day, bearing that in mind, I'm looking at life differently. I am saying to myself, hey, I didn't serve that person very well. I'm sorry I did not serve you well. Please forgive me for my less than quality service. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still being better. We gave you the onion ring example a while back. But it could be anything. Let's talk about flowers. The guy's always bringing flowers home. And every time he brings home, the wife says, oh, thank you, dear, thank you. Just for next time, I really like white roses. And she just mentions it just so softly and so sweetly. And, I like white roses. In fact, even just one white rose would just blow my mind. And the dude, he never hears it. The dude doesn't seem to hear it. He's always like, well, here's the red roses. I read in the book, red roses. There's a song, red roses. And he just doesn't get it. Well, that's not serving very well. There's a situation in my life, there have been others, but there's one I can think of where one of my dear compadres, I guess it's a nice word, it's a beautiful word, compadre, I never really got what they actually wanted. And then eventually, at the breaking point, they're like, listen, we need, and they said exactly what they needed. And I'm like, and they didn't really even say it, but I'm wiping off all the scales from my eyes. But since they never really did say it, and there really was no other answer, there was no other possibility, really, it was just the one thing that we hadn't tried, and it was the most radical step, but turned out to be the only step that needed to be taken. All the other steps could have been foregone. Well, Bob, that's so crazy, man. That would never happen. When they go to make light bulbs today at the GE factory or at the factory in China where they're making light bulbs, whether LEDs or incandescents or whatever you're making, do you think they're going through it? No. They find the answer and they run with it. So our job as godly women and men is to find that sweet spot, find that answer, and run with it. And here's the paradox. Even though we have the answer, even though we have it, there's always room for something new. Look at incandescent light bulbs. I have a package I can show you at my house where it says Thomas Alva Edison, and it has the whole story of the light bulb, and it's printed on the package as if people who are buying the light bulb have no idea, and they really do care, who invented this light. It's like, what? And now that light bulb's extinct pretty much. I mean, California, you're not supposed to have any incandescent bulbs. Everything's LED. I just got a speaker. Bethany Rose and I just got a little speaker, and it was only like $29 at Home Depot. Shh, don't tell anybody. And then I'm reading through the directions, and if you have two speakers like that, you can kind of connect them across the room. You can have like a surround sound, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But I don't like all those lights, Bob. You don't have to have the lights. You can have them either with or without the psychedelic LED lights, but the bulbs are there. So when they at the factory, if Thomas Alva Edison, rather than testing out the 3,492 and a half different ideas, if he would have just gone with the answer, would have saved him a lot of time, huh? But here's the thing. He didn't know the answer. So he kept trying and trying, and he never gave up. Just in West Hollywood, there was a big flood last week. We tried like 7 different ways to get to where my boss wanted to get to. She wanted to get to Sunset Boulevard. Not right where the pipe was broken. That wouldn't be right. But kind of east of there. And yet it was in the impact zone. They were pushing people away like 2 blocks away. So we, I was the driver. I just kept squirreling around and trying this and trying that, and going here and going there. And eventually, I found a hole in the gauntlet, and I got right in. And then we went right to the optician, and she had her glasses with her, and they fixed them. But we were in a ghost town. There was nobody there. Little Bethany Roses in the middle of Sunset Boulevard. And you could just see, it was just like, what? Wow. It was crazy. There was nobody there. We'd gone to have a good breakfast. We had a great day. But then just stop in this one little spot to have a little, wow, that guy's got a giant concrete block on top of his vehicle there. I guess that's to keep him from bouncing around. That's a good idea. It's a little tiny skip loader, but he's so small that he has this giant block on top of his car. I wonder if we're going to see it. Let's see it here. Hang on. Let's see. I think if he comes up this far, it should be coming up. Take a look. Take a look as this thing goes by. There's a big concrete block on top of the little mini tractor. Look at that. Look at that. See, isn't that cool? Because these little things are not very big. So when he goes to lift something up, the whole thing kind of rocks. Now he's got this giant concrete block on top. So when he lifts up something heavy, it adds weight to the little machine. There he goes. Look, see, look. Isn't that the craziest thing you ever saw? Wow. That's funny. Only in Irwindale, the city of rocks and pits there. Wow, wow. And he's going up to get gasoline now. He's going to go right in there and go get gas. But yeah, he's just going to go right up to Arco and get some gas. So, if you know what the answer is, then get the wife the one white rose. If you know what the answer is, then give the wife the tiny onion ring. That's what she's been asking for. If you know the answer, then go for it. We don't have to have all the answers. We just have to have the answer for what we are. I was in a group text with my little group, and I thought, rejoice, the song by Second Chapter of Acts, rejoice, rejoice. And I didn't have it on my playlist for some reason. I don't know why, but I took care of that. And then I was looking for Second Chapter of Acts under SEC. I looked under THE. No, it wasn't that. Like, this is crazy. So finally I found one song. It was like 2 ND. The number 2 ND, second. Oh. So once I have the answer, it made it a lot easier. So let's try to find answers today. Let's try to be a blessing wherever we go. Let us just focus on that answer. And then if you have not been being the answer, if you've not been doing the answer, if you have not been someone who's been able to please your friend, solve the riddle, when you finally do, then you can apologize and say, you know what, I really didn't see this earlier. I really apologize, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to march on now with the answer. I'm going to march on now with the truth. I'm going to be able to serve better, to love better, and to be a better Christian woman or man because I know the truth. I have the answer. I am able to now function with complete confidence. When those guys at the light bulb factory, when they make those light bulbs, guess what? They're not doing what Thomas Alva Edison's doing. They're not going through trying to find the best filament. No, they know what the right material is. So they order it and they simply assemble it and bam, it's ready to go. If I ever build a giant building again, I'm going to be better off. I kind of knew what I was doing to begin with. I really did. I mean, I laid all the parts out, I labeled them. I had no idea where they were all going to go, but I did do all those things. And so when the building was finally complete, that was it. It was all done. Tap, tap. Pardon me. 213-713-8954. You don't have to call me, but if you want to call or reach out and say hi, do it. Here's another example. I have this little Makita. It has 2 ports, USB ports, and USB. And it plugs onto this tool battery. Click, like that. Boom. Well, Bob, didn't you say you had those beautiful little slender box chargers? Well, let me tell you something. This little slender box chargers, they were awesome. This is the one for the iPhone, the old iPhone. I was getting confused here, and yeah, and they worked great, but charging them up, they're so slow. I mean, miserably, incredibly, unbelievably, capital SLOW, slow, to where I was just like, this is too much. So I went back to the old technique, but then the problem was that these cables, I have these cables like this I want to use, but guess what? They're C on both ends. Well, then how about this? The Best Buy have these little adapters. So then I've gone backwards. I've gone retro, back to the original method with a little adapter. And so now, when I go to charge my phones, this battery charges in 30 minutes, fully charged, and it lasts longer to begin with. I didn't make it last longer. What about the rectangular chargers? Well, those are still going to be awesome. By the way, be real careful with these things. Somebody, they kind of bent it a little bit there because it was. That's why I have them all disconnected right now, because if you have them connected and you're messing around, they could bend. So I told my daughter that, listen, when we have these things, make sure they're unplugged, wrap them up, put them separate so they're soft and no one's going to bend them, and then you can mess with the battery. That's the way to do it. That's the technique. We got it. So you're just every day growing, every day, better and better in every way. Love you. Have a wonderful day. And I'll talk to you real soon. What's that number? I say a little jingle. 213-713-8954. Hey.